Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another rebuild. Today we are rebuilding the worst team in Spain at the moment, in La Liga at least. Almeria currently sit bottom of the table with only one win. They are awful. They are looking like they are going to the Segunda Division in the Spanish leagues next season. So we are here to try and save them from doing that. Now their team, as far as rating goes for FIFA, it actually honestly isn't that bad. And when you look at it, it's definitely not a relegation side. Honestly, if I were to simulate one season unchanged, they would probably finish around mid-table at the worst. To be completely honest, we have 13 million to spend, and the theme of this rebuild is rebuilding them by buying and scouting only Spanish players within the whole entire thing. Obviously, being in Spain, we are going to keep it local and keep it to the nation in Spain. So we are going to go ahead and bring every single player that we bring in is going to have to be Spain. Any youth academy player that we might scout, which I probably won't, will have to be Spain. The youth generated player, though, from season 3, 4, 5, whatever, if we get to that point, will obviously have to be Spain as well. Now, as of right now, there is quite a few Spain, but there's also quite a few Brazilians, Serbians, Mexicans, Senegalians, English players, Argentinians, Ghana. There's a lot of, not really a lot of, but there is a decent amount of variety in this team, so we are gonna possibly let them go. I'm thinking maybe not. Like Luca Romero, when he comes, might just terminate his loan because he's obviously on loan here at the club. Same as Anthony Lozano, we might just go ahead and terminate his loan. He doesn't look 30 at all. His picture doesn't look 30 at all. He looks quite young. We do have a couple options on the transfer hub already. We have a 23-year-old in Hugo Dordo, which is $9 million. That is pretty much our whole entire budget. So we would have to sell somebody to bring other people in. We also have Carlos Fernandez, who is worth $2.8 million. However, his sprint speed is not the best, and neither is this guy's, to be honest. But his is definitely not the best. We have Kieran, who's also at Las Palmas in the first division here. He would be worth 9 to 11 million, which is our entire budget, but it could be worth it because he could play CDM, he could play CM, he could also play KM as well. We also have a youngster in Dio Diuni who could come in for around just 3 to 4 million there, and he could be one that could be here for a long time. Same as Stefan Bakajic, which I feel like we would have to sign up now because he would get expensive very early on. We could also look at the likes of Balde maybe in the future, Fresnada currently as well as a right back option if we really wanted to, which I think we could probably afford him. Arnu Martinez at Girona, who has been having a great season, a great first half of the season, kind of falling off a little bit with the whole entire Girona team. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and possibly sell some players, possibly bring at least these two guys in at the most, maybe even Fresnada as well, and then we'll see what we'll do from there. And Winger is the first player we bring in for $2.65 million. He will join Almeria, and he will instantly get loan listed as well because we are going to go ahead and transfer list our other right midfielders. However, I still don't think he would play if I were to simulate, so we are going to try and loan him out instead, see if he can get play time somewhere else, and then come back next season, possibly be ready for first team football. Second signing we make, we're just ripping them off right now. I told you all the three that I was possibly just going to bring in right off the start. And this is the second one of those three. Steven Bakajic will join from Liverpool for only $95K plus the sale swap deal of a right midfielder who was worth about his market value in that 4.5 million region there. So we go ahead and let him go plus 95K in cash, and Stefan will join here at Almeria and be along the side of our top center defensive midfielders. And Diani has been loaned out to Getafe for a year. We'll see whether he can grow, and hopefully he can. And we go ahead and make the last signing of the summer window here by bringing in a youngster from Real Zaragoza. We go ahead and bring him in for around, what was it, 5.2, 5.5 million, something like that. Frances will go ahead and join the squad. Alejandro Frances will join from Zaragoza, and he will be alongside our back line starting. And so this is your starting 11 to come into the season. We have Maximiano as our goalkeeper. We have Pubu, who's actually quite young, and the reason why Fresnada is not there is he also has showing great potential. So we'll let him go. We bring in the new guy in Francis. Then we have Edgar, who is on his way out sooner rather than later. Obviously, maybe not because he is 26. It's not the older one I was thinking of. Centellas, he's decent enough. Bakatic and Robertone in the midfield with Romero, Vieira, and Embraber as our front three, sitting in front of them with Suarez as our striker. Let's go and jump to the end of the season, see where these boys finish, and then come into the second season and bring in some more Spanish boys. And yeah, pretty much with an unchanged starting 11, we signed 2 players that actually possibly started. I know one for sure more than likely started, and then Bakatic honestly Pike didn't start too many games. Like I said, this team is good enough for that mid-table region, and it's exactly where they finish is in that mid-table region. They finished in 12th with 62 goals for, 80 against. So obviously there is still a problem in that back four. We are going to have to work on that over the course of these next couple of seasons. That's the most important when you got to be looking to win a league, especially against teams like Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid, where they're only conceding 34 to 41 goals. We conceded double that. That is a problem. We got to flip that. That's what we got to do. We got to flip our goals for and goals against, and that would be perfect there. 86 points for Barcelona, 86 points for Real Madrid. They finished in second and third, while Atletico Madrid go ahead and win the league by 1 single point. As far as the Copa de España goes, Real Madrid went ahead and won that, and then Champions League, the winners we want to be here sooner rather than later is Real Madrid versus Inter Milan on June 1st. As far as our season stats goes, I'm not quite sure who's going to be a top goal scorer, and in fact, it is going to be Arribas, who goes ahead and gets 16 goals, and Barber had 13 goals. Dio played 12 games at least. That's what they are saying it's happened. He's grown +4. That's the biggest thing. He has grown +4. He will come back to here next season. He will be the starting right midfielder no matter what happens, because Ramzini is 74. We'll probably end up selling him, and we'll probably start the purge of non-Spanish players. Let's get into the second season. Let's see how much money we have to spend, and then let's see what Spanish players we need to bring in for the positions to fill out the players that we sell that are not Spanish. And to start season 2, we have 34 million in our budget. We have all the non-Spanish players transfer listed. We are even going to look to let go of some Spanish players as well to bring in some more talent. But as of right now, if we are to sell all Spanish players, we would have no striker. We have no Spanish strikers in the system. We are going to have to find a replacement for Robertone. He's obviously not Spanish. I believe he's Argentine, and if I'm not mistaken, he could be Spanish, though. But I am 85% sure he is Argentinian. He is, so he will have to be sold. Bakatic already wants to leave the club, which means he didn't get any game time. So, obviously, letting go of Lupi and letting go of Robertone is perfect. We are going to go ahead and transfer list Mileto as well because he is not good enough, which means we need a striker. We definitely need another CM/CDM, possibly even 2. I obviously want to improve our defensive line anyway, so we might let go of Edgar. In all honesty, we might let go of Edgar. Pubil, he's only grown +1, so maybe he didn't play, and if he didn't, that's not good enough. So we might go ahead and let him go as well. And then obviously I want to bring in a new left back, and then I think maybe a new left mid if we have enough money. But some of these transfers are going to go ahead and be free. There is specifically 3 players that are free that I'm looking to bring in that could be instant impacts. Simon Avila, he could join and he would be an instant impact. We would put him on the left back role and maybe even stick him as a right back as well. But I do plan on bringing in Fresnada as well, so he would possibly be a right back. And then we have Lozano Torres, and we also have Valentino Oriana, who could both come in and do a job better than Edgar and possibly even better than Fonses. We'll go ahead and find that. We also have a striker here that we'll probably bring in and loan out, and we might bring in all these free agents that are not over the overall of 70. Bring them in and then loan them out. Maybe besides Blanco. Blanco could be a substitute player. We also have Freden Jugala, who we could bring in. Goretzka we could bring in. But I think it's those free agents. It's Fresnada, and then it's possibly Kieran as well, because he's a great option that we was looking at last season that we could still afford at the moment. So that is good to see there. And there we go. All three free agents have been brought in Seaman Avila. We have Lorenzo Torres, who actually went ahead and rejected Athletic Club to join us. And then Valentin Oriana, who will also join us as well. I don't like the fact that Oriana is on an important squad role, so I might change that within my mod system because he should be on rotation, because there's going to be Torres and Frances as our two center backs for sure. Avila is perfectly fine being important, even though he should probably be crucial as well as Torres, but it is what it is. Now we are going to go ahead and bring all these other free agents in and then possibly look to sign more players as well. We still need a striker and we still need that CM as well. And we go ahead and bring in our first purchase of the season. We go ahead and bring in that midfielder Kieran. He will join for only 1.9 million because we also offered them one of the CDMs, not Robertone, but the other one that was probably taking Stefan's spot. So Stefan now, it's going to be Stefan and Kieran in our midfield duo. Once we sell Robertone, we are going to have to sell him for sure to make sure Steven Bakitic does play. But welcome to the club, Kieran, for very cheap. That actually opens up the door even more because it was going to put me down to an angle of being only to sign one striker. Now I can go in there and sign the better striker or the more expensive striker and possibly even another backup striker as well. And Parmazzini has been sold to Everton for that 5 million market value. We let him go, and that will open the door for us to bring somebody else in for him. We also go ahead and let Montes go. His release clause actually got triggered for 22.8 million. The release clause is lower than his value. You can constantly monitor the value of your players. His player market value is 12.5 million. His release clause is 22.8 million. The AI on this game has always been terrible, and that's why the player database is down 60%. But Marko Milovic, one of the strikers, has been sold to OH Leuven for 2.5 million as well. And we have our new number one striker. We go to Athletic Club and buy their best striker in Goretzka for 24.5 million. He will join the squad here. We finally have a Spanish striker. We're finally keeping it local. Welcome to the club, son. He will be our number one striker, and I think we are going to go ahead and keep one of the free agents that we brought in. One of those was a striker, and he honestly looked decent enough to be a backup striker. Not the highest overall, but he looked like he does have at least a decent amount of potential. So we go ahead and probably let him stay there. So we'll have Goretzka as our number one striker, and then the other free agent as our backup striker. That is the plan at the time being. Whether or not it actually sticks to that depends on whether or not we get a loan offer for him, to be honest, because he is loan listed at the moment. They said we could have saved 4.7 million, which we probably could have, but you know what, it is what it is. He'll come in and he will be our new number one striker. We still have to let go of Suarez though. And we go ahead and make a ridiculous loaning signing. He obviously got loaned out last season from Barcelona. They let us loan him in this season as well. So I guess Xavi, despite the fact that he is possibly leaving at the end of the season, he is still here on FIFA, for obviously because they can't change the fact that he's still there. So we go ahead and bring him into our club for the season. Almeria signed Ansu Fati on loan for one season. He will join. He will be our left mid for the season. That does give me enough room to find a permanent signing later on for next season. So welcome to the club, Ansu Fati. Hopefully you can lift us up into a better league position than 12th. I didn't realize how badly we needed a goalkeeper. Our only goalkeeper at the club right now is 38-year-old Fernando, who is going to obviously deteriorate rapidly considering he is nearly almost 40. So we go ahead and go over to the English League in the Premier League, and we bring in David Raya. It was between David Raya and Jose Sa. David Raya is younger and better. Jose Sa is also 31 and only 79. David Reyes 82. So we bring him in for 22 million. He will join from Brentford, and he will be our new #1 goalkeeper here at Almeria. That will do us nicely for these simulations. That might be all the signs we have to make. And Robertone has been sold only for 29 million. This is probably going to come back as an F as well. It's going to be a C as well. We could have probably got close to 35 to 40 million. We just went ahead and accepted the first signing because we weren't getting any offers for him. So I thought it was best just to accept the first one that came in as quickly as possible. So we say goodbye to him. And now Kieran and Bacek can run that midfield duo-ship. And honestly, this team is shaping us nicely. We have Raya, we have Avila, we have Sanchez, we have Torres and Centelles. We still have to sell Edgar, or either Sanchez or Torres won't play this season. We have Dio on the right-hand side. It's up to 75 overall now. We have Arribas in the midfield. We have Fati on the left-hand side. And then Guru Zeta as our striker. And we say goodbye to Suarez. He has been sold to Real Sociedad for 23.5 million. Goodbye to you, sir. Thank you for your service. And we say goodbye to Edgar. He goes to Athletic Club for 12 million. That will let our young center back start now for good. That is what I was really waiting for. Now we can kind of just simulate the rest of the season, or start the season. Oh, so here is your starting 11 going into the season. It's David Raya, it's Avila, it's Sanchez, it's Torres, it's Centelles, Kieran, Bacek, Dio Moon, and then Arribas, Fati, and Guru Zeta as our striker. Let's jump into the end of the season and see where the boys are at, and hopefully maybe a European spot. And we are sitting exactly where we were last season in 12th. This time we have a better goal difference, a better goal against stat line. That's good to see. But we are sitting in 12th, same exact point where we were. We are, what, 11 points off 6th spot, which is a European spot in the Conference League. Real Madrid go ahead and win the league this time a little bit more dominantly than what Atletico Madrid did last season, in which they only finished in 4th. And then again, Barcelona in 2nd. The Copa de España final for us, possibly no, it's Real Madrid who went ahead and won that as well. Top goal scorer, Ansu Fati on loan with 15 goals. He's also Grun +3, or +3. We'll say goodbye to him. Good, that's the Guru Zeta, 13 goals, 8 assists. Dio +5. He's up to 80 overall, +10 and 4 assists for him. That is great to see. Bacek is up +4 as well. He is playing now on a more regular basis. I honestly think it could just be our backline being unexperienced and just not good enough, possibly. So maybe we're just going to have to bite the bullet and improve on that next season no matter what. We do have Torres. It might be time to say goodbye to Sanchez, though. And we are starting Season 3 big. We are spending pretty much our 2/3 of our entire budget of 90 million on this one player. I told y'all I wanted a new left back. I told y'all we needed possibly a new back four, or at least a better back four. So we go ahead and bring in Balde. This time not from Barcelona, but he will obviously be at Man City. It's one of the most common signings of FC24 career mode this year is Balde always going over to City. So we had to buy him from the Premier League side there, and he will come in for 68.8 million. I spent probably around a good 2-3 minutes literally on that 68.8, trying to get them to budget down to as close to 66.6 million. They would not budge, so we had to just pay up the 68.8. I wanted to bring him in, and he is now in now. The only problem is I don't really have that much money to bring anybody else in, and I was going to bring in a couple more options, but we have 17 million to spend, and that's a big budget gone. I still need a left midfielder, so this was possibly the dumbest thing I could have done is bring him in. We could have went somewhere cheaper like Fran Garcia and spent half the price there and be able to have a little bit more money, because I still want to bring in a center back. I still want to bring in a left midfielder. We have 20 million to do so. I'm not sure if we can. And we go ahead and squeeze out all the pennies we had to bring in this player. His contract was expiring, so it actually made it a little bit better for us. It allowed us to get him for that cheaper spot. We bring him in for 15.4 million, I believe it was, plus a 15% sell-on clause. That is quite literally all our pennies. We barely had enough to pay his wages. But Bernier got the join from Barcelona, and he will be our new left winger. And seeing as that's all the players we could really bring in, because we can't afford anybody, and it's looking like we're not going to get any transfer offers, and the only transfer offers we're getting are these younger players that are just loan offers. So we might just have the quick simmer season, hopefully be a little bit better, and then come in next season and then replace Sanchez and possibly replace Torres as well if he doesn't grow enough, and maybe even Avila as well if he does not grow enough. These two, honestly, Kieran doesn't have much time on him. He's 29, so it might be time to look at replacing him. We have Blanco on the bench, so that is a good thing to see there. But this guy, our left winger, he has big shoes to fill in for Ansu Fati, who had a great season for us last season. Hopefully, Balde is enough to get the job done in that back four. Let's see where we are at the end of the season. It's another season of mediocrity. This time we got what 6th and 7th was last season in that 50-point range. This time it's only good enough for 11th. We have literally been floating mid-table for these first 3 seasons. Real Madrid go ahead and win the league again. They do back-to-back leagues there. We missed out on a European spot by 9 points. I mean, looking at our team here, Balde's up to 86. That's great to see there. It's going to be the back two. It's going to have to be Torres and Sanchez to go. Maybe even our midfield duo there to go as well. Dio is up to 84. He grew +4 this season again. So he's been flying rapidly, and it's a debut season player this season for Andre there. Arribas, 16 goals out of him. Same for Guzetta. He had 5 goals and 7 assists, but he's +4, which is actually insane. But yeah, it's looking like Kieran might have to go. It's looking like Bacic might have to go. It's looking like our 2 center backs might have to go next season. We somehow have 28 million. I guess that's just from tournament fees, possibly something like that. Maybe a player release clause got sold in January. Let's get into the 4th season. We needed a center back, possibly even 2 center backs, but we find one perfect replacement to kick the season off. This guy will come from the free agents. I forgot his name, but he is 81 overall. I believe he's 21 at 81 overall. Oyer Rodriguez will come in from the free agents. Barcelona were going in him at the same time. We swooped under the radar, picked him up for a free, and he will join us and be our new #1 center back. Is he right-footed? I don't know. I can't tell from this angle, but whatever he is, he can play center back, he can play left back, he can play right back. And talking about right back, we might finally bite the bullet and bring in Ivan Fresnada. I'm also gonna go ahead and look at Arnu real quick and see what his rating is and see how much he will cost. If he is a little bit cheaper or the same value, we could possibly look to bring him in. But looking at this, 85, his release clause is 69 million. And they would want 63 to 79. Do I have 69 million to spend? No. Can I generate enough funds to get to? Oh, I'm actually right there. I have 68 million. We are going to look to sell some players and then possibly spend our whole load on Arnu, except for the fact that Villa's up now 80 overall, and we would need a center back or center mid and a center mid. So maybe not the best choice there. Maybe we'll look at midfield options first. We go ahead and bring in a center midfielder in Adrian Bernabe. He will join from LASK. He will be Kieran's replacement, as I actually perfectly demonstrated there. We bring him in for 23 million, just above his market value. That's a third of a budget gone now for him. I'm interested in possibly bringing in maybe one more. I am still looking at Fresnada, obviously, as an option, but Avila's up to 80 overall now. So I might give him one more season, and we might just go ahead and look at possibly a replacement for Sanchez. I think I give Bacic a season more as well. I think that's the plan for now. we go ahead and bring in some additional support for Arribas at that cam position. We bring in a youngster over from Tottenham for around 20 million. I think it's around 18 point something million, and in fact it's actually only 15.6 million. Raul Cuevas will come in. He will be a backup option for Mr. Arribas. We are also looking to bring in Victor Cardenese. This one is 18 million if I'm not mistaken, 17.4 million. He will be a backup for both Bacchus and Mr. Bernard. His stats though, his stats are quite impressive if I can see them, which I can. There we go. 81 sprint speed, or 83 sprint speed, 81 acceleration, great aggression, great strength, decent stamina, good defensive awareness, good ball control, good crossing for some reason. Stand tackle and slide tackling is not bad. Heading accuracy is not bad. Short passing is not bad. The only thing I would say, maybe composure could obviously be upgraded. His vision could be upgraded. His balance definitely could be upgraded. His jumping. I am still 50-50 on bringing in Fresnada. In fact, if we do bring in Cardenas, we can't bring in Fresnada. So it's that. There's that. So Villa's going to get one more chance. It's as simple as that. Kieran has been sold to Real Betis for 11.5 million. We say goodbye to him. That will allow Mr. Bernabe and Bacchus to play. And at the end of Season 4, we finally finish in a European spot. It might only be the Conference League, but it's at least something at this point. I was getting to the point where we just called this a fail. We finish in 6th with 65 points. We're only 3 points behind Sevilla in that Europa League spot, 7 points behind Barcelona in the Champions League spot. And once again, Real Madrid go ahead and win the league for the 3rd season in a row there. Did we win Copa de España to push us up into the Europa League? And no, we did not, unfortunately. Again, Real Madrid goes ahead and win that. Looking at our squad, Rodriguez is up to 82 overall. Villa is up to 82 overall. That is great to see. Now, the only problem I have with this is David Raya is up to 83. However, he is 31 years old. So how much longer does he actually have theoretically in this team? I don't know. If we can find a free agent possibly next season that can come in and do his job, that'd be great. Arribas had 18 goals. Dio plus 3. He's up to 87 overall. 12 goals, 11 assists out of him. Guruzeta might be his time to go with 12 goals and 30 years old. Hopefully we have a little bit of money next season. A bit of European money. I forgot to do contract extensions. Please tell me some good players aren't. Oh, David Raya is leaving. Oh, so we got to find. Okay, well, we got to find a new goalkeeper anyway. David Raya is leaving. I forgot to do contract extensions. Okay, well, priority number 1, find a new goalkeeper because David Raya is gone and we don't have any other good ones. 126 million to spend for getting in the Conference League. We are in the Conference League, right? I'm 99% sure we're in the Conference League. No, we're in the Europa League. We are in the Europa League. So it's not Conference League. It's Europa League football. It's still European football. It's Europa League football. They want us to reach the semifinals. I want to win it. And looking at this team, obviously need a goalkeeper because Cortez, 70 overall. He's not going to do it as a minus 49 at that goalkeeper position. Villa, I think our back four is untouchable besides the fact maybe Torres can go. Our midfield duo, Bacchus is the only one that can be touched, but be touched by Cardenas. And honestly, I think Cardenas might take the spot there, in all honesty. Other than that, Dio is not gonna be touched. Arriba is definitely not gonna be touched. Baron is not gonna be touched. Guruzeta could be touched. He could be sold. I gotta stop saying touched. This sounds weird. So I can sell him. Maybe a striker, a center back, maybe a CDM, maybe if there's an outrageous one, and then definitely a goalkeeper as well. And 126 million to spend. Let's see how much of that can we have to spend, or can we find a free agent that is insane. And we have our new striker. Joaquin Cortez will join from Real Betis for 26 million pretty much. And he will be our new #1 striker, as Guru is getting a little bit too old for this challenge. And we also have a new center back in Mikel Marmol. He will join for 45 million over from Napoli. And he will be one of the 2 starting center backs over, I believe. I'm dropping, who is it? Is it Torres? Yeah, dropping Torres. Torres is getting dropped finally. He's just not growing. He's not doing what he needs to be doing. So Marmol will come in for him. I still need a goalkeeper. And that is pretty much all that I really need is a goalkeeper. Luis Romero is our new #1 goalkeeper over from Morense. He will join for $34.5 million. That is great to see there. He will be our new #1 goalkeeper. He has big shoes to fill in that spot for David Rea, but we can finally say goodbye to Cortez, who is holding that goalkeeper spot. And our team is set up perfectly now. Avila, Marmol, Rodriguez, Balde, Carnes, Bernabe, Dio, Arribas, Barron, and then Cortez as our striker. Let's jump to the end of the season where hopefully we are Europa League champions. End of the season, and let's just start in the Europa League. We finished our group in first alongside Galatasaray, SK Rapid, and Banbrai. We finished first in that group, so we go ahead and skip the pre-11 round in which likes Man United is in here, AC Milan is in here, PSV is in there, Feyenoord and Roma are both in there, in which Roma won 8-3 on Ajax are in there. So yeah, it's a very tough, and in fact, we had Man United up first, in which we actually beat them on aggregate 3-2 in the round of 16, and then we go into the quarterfinals, in which we play against Ajax and lose 3-2 on aggregate there. The semifinals is Ajax versus Monaco, and then Spurs versus AC Milan, in which Ajax versus Milan meet up in the final, and AC Milan win comfortably with a 4-0 win. The Copa de España, it goes to Real Madrid. We were actually in the final of that. Wow, we made it to the final for that for once. And I'm assuming Real Madrid went ahead and won the league, except for the fact that they didn't. Because Almeria won the league by 3 points. We go ahead and win the league here. Real Sociedad coming in second. Real Madrid in third. Barcelona in fourth. We have won the league. We are in the Champions League for next season. Romero is up to 81 overall. Dio is up to 89, and he had a breakout season with 36 goals. And despite the fact, obviously not being our starting striker, he is technically our starting striker still because he played all the majority of the games. He scored 30 goals, and he's up to 85. So Guru Zeta had 30 goals. Diallo had 36, which is absolutely insane. The only signing we are making is bringing in Javier Castro from Inter Milan as a backup option for $33.6 million. He will join. He will be a backup midfielder just to boost our squad depth a little bit more. And now it's time to go find out our Champions League group and get into January. And we'll do it half split and hopefully get to the Champions League final in the first time of asking. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. But anything is possible, especially if your guys are scoring 30 goals. Our Champions League group is an easy one. We have Napoli, RC Lens, and Liga Warszawa. This is going to be an easy group for the boys. Let's get into January and see whether or not we come in first or second, or even possibly get knocked out. In our game crash, so we have a new Champions League group. We still have RC Lens somehow, but we also have RB Leipzig and then Union Saint-G. So again, another easier group that we should finish first or second. So we'll go ahead and quick sim. I'm gonna save it this time so it doesn't. So if it does crash, we can come back to this point. And we go ahead and finish our Champions League group stage by coming in second, 4 points behind RB Leipzig. That is good enough for us. RC Lens gets knocked out of Europe completely. It's Union Saint-G who moved down to the Europa League. And in the round of 16, we face off against AC Milan, the winners of the Europa League from last season. We face them off in the first round of the Champions League, round of 16. Arsenal versus Napoli, Roma versus PSG, Leipzig get Man City, Bayern versus Juventus, Real Madrid get Dortmund, Barcelona get Leverkusen, Inter Milan get Real Sociedad. First leg here up against AC Milan, and our team is tired, and our team has a suspension. So where's the other guy? Did the other guy, no, like Castro easily, there, fine, booyah, gotcha. All right, let's go and quick sim here. We're probably gonna lose badly, and in fact, we actually only lose 3-2. Arribas in the 86th minute gave us a chance there to come back in the second leg. We're only down by 1. Second leg here against AC Milan. Our team is finally fully fit and no suspensions on here. A couple of them are unhappy, but will they be happy after this game? I sure as hell hope so. Do we beat AC Milan? We're down by 1. We go in quick sim and we win 3-0. Berdain with a brace and Cortez in the 78th minute to seal the deal essentially. And we knock off AC Milan, the Europa League winners from last season. They get knocked off 5-3 on aggregate. And we move on to the round of nothing. It's the quarterfinals. We took down one Milan. Now we take down Inter Milan here in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. A 0-0 draw in the first leg. Second leg here against Inter Milan, a team, Arias and Marmo is a little bit tired, but can they get the job done? Yes, they can. It takes extra time, but we win 4-2 on aggregate. We win 4-2 on the day and 4-2 on aggregate. We go ahead, and in fact, Lautaro Martinez equalized in the 81st to send it to extra time. Arribas, Bernabe, Cardenas, and Baran are all on the score sheet to send us into the semifinals. 4 different goal scorers. And we are in the semifinals of the Champions League. Semifinals here against Manchester City. It's the first leg, and Marmo has a red card. We're going to go to quick sim and hopefully not lose too bad. It's a 2-2 draw. Bernabe in the 89th minute equalized things up here. Shuts down Holland's brace and gives us a chance. Second leg here against Man City at the Man City Stadium. And Cardenas gets a double yellow within 10 minutes and gets sent off in extra time. But it doesn't matter because Baran scores in the 110th minute to send us to the final of the Champions League. He scored in the 42nd minute. We went radio silent all the way into the 110th, knocking off Man City and Rodrigo. That's an insane team. They're starting 11. Ederson, Araujo, Martel. They had Thomas, Echeverri. They had Pope on the bench for some reason. They have Doku, Griezmann on the bench. What the heck is going on? This team is insane. And we just knocked them off to get to the final of the Champions League on our first time of asking. What a run these boys have made. And we might be facing off against La Liga side Barcelona. Or will it be PSG, who I seem to never be able to beat in these rebuilds. I feel like I always play them. But Bernabe, who got a red card, he's going to be out of that final. So he won't be able to play that final. As far as the league goes, we are sitting in 5th. But it doesn't matter because this is the last thing since we got to the final. We are just going to go ahead and quick sim to that final. And we will play that. And whether or not we win it or not will determine whether the fact we rebuild them successfully or not. Because this has been a 4.5-hour recording. And I'm about tired of it. And it's Barcelona in the Champions League final. It's a La Liga affair here in the final of the Champions League. This is their starting 11. They have Ferran Torres, Jimenez, Abada. They have Robertone, who we just sold recently. Lavia and Pedri as a midfield trio. Davies, Faye, Koundé, Thiago, and Ter Stegen in net. Our starting 11 is going to be the best starting 11 that we possibly can play. Obviously, Cardenas, it's not Bernabe, it's Cardenas who's getting suspended, dropped. So we are going to go ahead and put Castro there, and that is going to be our starting 11. Where is the other guy? The other guy is not here, so it's going to be Cortez, who's now 86 overall. That's insane. Diallo is going to be our best player. Let's jump into it. Let's see what we can do here against this Barcelona team. Champions League final here in Germany at the Schalke Stadium. Let's see what we can do against this Barcelona team and hopefully send this video off with a Champions League win. Jimenez, Pedri, Abada, Ferran Torres, Pedri, shot wide for a goal kick. Davies, Barambe did his job there. And now Mikel will look to find Diallo up top. Now can the 90 overall, possibly the best signing we've ever made in a rebuild. He'll find Baron Texta. His shot will be blocked, but he'll pick it back up. And Baron on his left foot blocked again. Diallo now on the ball. Diallo near post. Saved by Ter Stegen. Not fully cleared. Cleared by defender. Out for a throw-in. Bahrain. Balde. Back post for Diallo. He can't head it in. No. Davies heads it out. And we go halftime. 1-0. It's actually 0-0. There's no goal scored at all. It's 0-0 here. And here's Dio over the top for Cortez. In behind Faye, the defender. And Cortez, can he get past Ter Stegen? Dio, Cortez, he's in behind again. Cortez, a difficult angle. He won't shoot that, but he'll find a rebound. He'll come off Koundé's head into the back of the net, and Almeria have the lead. It's Ribas, the captain, to give us a 1-0 lead. It's technically going to be a Koundé on goal, I imagine. It came straight off his head and deflected into the back of the net. It honestly wasn't the best of shots. It might have been going off target in all honesty. And Koundé finds the back of the net for Almeria. Davies crossed in for then Torres gets low. Romero with the save. It's Pedri now. It's Pedri still in the box. He goes near post. That comes off the post and out for a goal kick. Sanchez will come on for Marmol. He's playing a more central role. It looks like a more attacking role possibly. It's Ansu Fati who spent a year here at Sevilla. He gets a shot off. It's blocked. They'll fall for now. Ferran Torres intercepted by Frances, and Castro will look to clear it into Bahrain. Bahrain into Cortez. He has to just clear it and get it past two defenders. No, he can't do so. But he'll chase down Ter Stegen, nearly closing the gap there. Pedri into Pablo Torre. And Pedri now, they have to go Barcelona. Into Ansu Fati, back to Lavia, and that is game over. Almeria are your Champions League winners. A 1-0 win, thanks to an own goal by Koundé. And Almeria are going to lift the Champions League trophy. And it's going to be technically the goal shooter that got the goal to lift the trophy, Arabas. He's been here since the start. He's one of the OGs here at Almeria and part of this all-Spanish team rebuild. It has been completed. We lift that Champions League trophy the first season in the Champions League. We took down Man City. We took down both Inter Milan and AC Milan on our way here. And we go ahead and beat Barcelona, our La Liga rivals, I guess you could say. And we lift the Champions League trophy that is unfortunately black on your screen right now for some reason. I'm not sure why the lighting is off, but it is, unfortunately. It is what it is. We win the Champions League with Almeria. Let me know what team y'all want me to rebuild next in the comments. But until now, leave a like, subscribe, and peace out.